Hey, Corey here again, this time with the extended cut to show off some of the additional features that I added to my project. No music or anything in this video, I'll just be explaining what's going on and giving some of my thoughts on the process and experience of working on this project. I think you already saw most of this in the main video. If a user bids on an item, that item is automatically added to their watch list. I don't think I showed this, but obviously you can also manually add items to your watch list. Now I'll show you how the report system works. On Yard Sale, you can report listings, comments, and users. All reports generate a message to the admin with details about the report. So we reported that sketchy Bitcoin listing. Now let's take a look at the user who created that listing, BoneCollector55. I'll report him just to be safe. If you didn't notice before, on a user's profile you can hover over the titles of their listings to see some details about each one. One of these had a comment I wanted to report. Might as well report these seeds too. This doesn't seem very legit. I'm just gonna fast forward for a second. I think I forgot what I was doing when I was recording here. There it is, the comment I wanted to report. Also, I didn't have a chance to mention this before, but the color of the time text changes depending on how much time is left. Under 24 hours is yellow, 12 is orange, and less than 6, red. I've demonstrated many of the automated messages that are sent by the system to users, but I don't think I've shown direct messaging yet. Let's antagonize this guy. The profanity filter is not used in the private messaging system, only in comments, so I'll keep it clean. Let's log into Bone Collector's account. You can see he has some new messages. From the inbox, you can directly reply to any message you receive from other yard sale users. Let's tell this Corey fella how we feel. And I think I got distracted again and forgot what I was doing when I was recording. Fast forward. Bone Collector decides to message admins directly using the link below the nav bar. You'll see that the message has a subject line help automatically added before it's sent to the admin. Now let's actually log into the admin account to see what's going on. 16 unread messages. This guy Corey is bothering me. A report from Corey, report from Corey. I think I should just ban this Corey guy, keep things simple. Okay, back over to my account to take a closer look at the profile page. Users can edit their profile picture, user information, password, they can deposit and withdraw funds, etc. The bid section below this is limited to the 10 most recent active bids, with the ones expiring earliest at the top. At a quick glance, you can see if you're winning an auction and how much time you have left to place another bid. There are some rules about withdrawing money. All bids must be funded by the time a listing is 24 hours away from closing. I have Celery tasks constantly checking user balances and bids. Bids that aren't backed by a user balance at the 24-hour remaining mark are deleted, and an automated message is sent to that user as well as the new highest bidder if they exist. And there's a check when withdrawing money as well. So to demonstrate that, let me go find an auction that has less than 24 hours remaining. I'll place a bid on this unicorn horn that expires in an hour and a half, then attempt to withdraw all of my money. So my bid was for 150, and I have 490 in my account. Let's try to withdraw all of it. No dice. Let's try a lesser amount. Successful withdrawal, but you have less than 72 hours remaining. What's this? Let's check the messages. There's my denial message from before. And here's the 72. Your withdrawal request for 150 has been processed. However, this has left your account with insufficient funds. Blah, blah, blah. You're closing in less than 75 hours as of this time. Your minimum balance needed to cover this. 1200. Blah, 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 blah. Let's head over to the transactions page, where you'll see your full transaction history, as well as a table showing you all the bids you've placed. From the profile page, if you click the transaction link, that table will be front and center when the page loads. And if you click the bidding history link, then the bids table will be scrolled into view. If you've placed multiple bids on the same item, only the highest bid is displayed in the table by default, but you can click that row to expand all of your earlier bids. Now let's talk about deleting accounts. Just like with withdrawals, there are certain rules in place to make sure users can't game the system by deleting their account. Users may not delete an account if they have active bids or listings on the site. So I'll log into my dog's account to show you the process for deleting an account from Yard Sale. Of course she's using an unsafe password. No matter how many times I tell her, she just can't seem to grasp the importance of a strong password. I was probably too happy with myself for the button CSS here. See? It disappears, just like your account if you click it. One last attempt to entice a user to stay with a juicy coupon code. But no, let's delete this account. Log in once more, and I'll show you the search page real quick. The grid is dynamic based on the screen size, but other than that, this page is pretty straightforward. About. This page just tells the user a little bit about Yard Sale and answers some frequently asked questions. To see the answer, just click on any question. Some tips. And a link to message the admins if you have any other questions. Terms and conditions pop up. Ignore the dots and the numbers. I just realized that was bugged. I fixed it, but I don't want to re-record. Click anywhere on that page to go back. There's the theme toggle, which I've shown. Now I'll show you how a bid is automatically removed if a user doesn't have the required funds to back it. Let's swipe over to the admin interface and create a fake listing. List a fancy spoon. It'll cost $100,000. Better call it very fancy spoon. Now I have to set the closing. Nope. Nope. Up. No. Word. Yep. There it is. Closing date. I'll set the closing date 24 hours and 1 minute from now. Since bids must be funded by the time an auction is 24 hours away from closing, should do it. Swiping back to my account now, let's bid on a very fancy spoon. Let's go big. You see, there's no issue placing the bid. If I had waited another minute, then it would have been denied because of lack of funds, but technically I have about 30 seconds to deposit 150K in my account before the automated process cancels my bids. So there's less than 24 hours left, and I just realized that I actually set my check bids function to run every 15 minutes, not 16 seconds like the function that closes the auctions, but that's okay. As you can see here in the views.py file, I also run that function each time the index page is loaded, so we'll just go with that. It's the exact same thing. Back over to the fancy spoon. See, the price is back to 100K and my bid is gone. Also, I prefer dark mode. Here's the message we received notifying us of our canceled bid. This message also tells us how much time is left in the auction. And that's about it for the demo, I think. I'll show you a little behind the scenes of how the Celery automation works in the app and then call it there. I put all recurring automatic functions in a file called tasks.py. The first function, setInactive, runs every minute and checks all the closing dates and sets listings to inactive if they're expired. It calls a helper function, declareWinner, which is the beginning of a chain of functions that handles all of the financial and messaging logic. We've also got check if bids are funded, which, as I just mentioned, runs once every 15 minutes, which is more than enough for production for the purpose of this function, but obviously not great for this example. The function filters all bids on listings expiring in less than 24 hours. It calculates the total dollar amount of those bids for each user and confirms that the user has enough funds deposited in their account to cover those bids. And finally, check user fees. This function handles somewhat of an edge case. As I said in the first video, there's a 5% fee for closing a listing early. Therefore, we can find ourselves in a situation where the seller has $0 balance and decides to cancel a listing. According to our policy, that user now owes Yard Sale 5% of the listing price. So if a seller is hit with this fee, it will bring their account balance into the negative and it will declare a fee failure date. Users have 7 days to deposit funds and get their account balance back to zero before additional fees begin to accrue. The function will add 5% of the listing price to the outstanding balance every 24 hours after the 7th day. On the 28th day, a warning message is sent to the user, and on the 30th, the account is deactivated, passwords changed, and it's handed off to our collections department. And finally, I'll just show you the celery.py file itself. If you're curious about any of the other code or want to see an album I made of all the fake listings, then check out my GitHub repo for this project. MyPetLobster is my username for now. Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. Have a good one.